basically...
All right, hold up. Our conversation is too good not to record, so I'm just going to change the title of this later.
Just saying, and it opens up with that. Great.
Radio. Now with awkward Star Trek conversations.
No, okay, so we were talking about Slash and Spock's penis. Yeah, Spock's penis. Go on, Ari.
We're going to turn off so many people who...
We're going to gain fans. What the fuck are you talking about?
Anyway.
Is that white wine or water?
It's water. I like to drink water in a wine glass. No, it's my wine.
I'm just. I thought you were insane. I didn't know.
I like how that's the first place you go with it. It's like, oh well, she's insane, so she's got to be drinking water out of a wine glass with no ice in it.
You are such a goddamn hipster. You would do that just to feel fancy. Okay, don't lie. You would drink water out of a wine glass and be like, oh yes, it's a Chardonnay de la free
you know what it would be?
Water.
The really fancy glass, like, bottled water, and then pour that. That's
right, though.
You mean
Honestly, when I was buying the wine at the checkout, the guy behind me was like, "Is that water or wine?" I'm like, "It's wine." So yeah, like.
I'm in good company.
I guess so. People just think I'm drinking water out of wine glasses.
No one's ever like, "Yo, dude, is that beer or is that really whiskey?" Everyone's just like, "Got an ID?" I'm like, "Yeah." Here you go. Have a nice day.
See,
maybe this is like a lady thing.
What's a lady thing? I'm lost.
Getting asked if you're actually buying wine or not.
I think it's just a guy's like pickup tactic because he's too afraid to say anything. So it's like, you're getting drunk, right?
That is like...
Are you getting drunk alone? Because you're buying wine.
All he was buying was a tub of ice cream, so he must have had a bad day. I mean,
see, you guys could have been friends. Was he cute?
He was a little too old for me, I gotta say.
Okay.
Was he cute? If he wasn't cute, he was probably nice.
He wasn't cute. He was just
so
like...
he was probably very nice.
He was like pushing 40. You know, it seemed a little weird. Like, I'm not going to go there.
Well, if he played his cards right, he could have been pushing 20. No? Okay, never mind. I'm done.
No.
Wow. Do we want to tackle our actual topic?
No, we'll get to it. I got to rehost the thing and everything. I'm just being offensive for offensive's sake. I'm sorry. I watched too much Star Trek. I mean, Star Park. What the fuck? I got those confused. God damn it, Spock!
Are you drinking water?
Not yet. I've been getting up at like 6 a.m. like every morning to go teach this class, and it's like
that's nothing. I wake up at 2 a.m. every morning.
Why do you hate yourself?
I don't hate myself. I just need money.
You know, like, God doesn't need you to, like, flagellate yourself anymore. Like, you don't have to do these things. You can still get to heaven.
Wear my hair shirt and just feel sad. No, I need money, okay? I actually really like my job. I like working in the warehouse. It's fun. I'm surrounded by muscular geeks.
I thought you were going to say you really liked your hair shirt.
I really love my hair shirt.
Calvinists back in the day, they'd put on their hair shirt and they'd be all miserable and
I totally know. I just thought when you were like, I actually really enjoy, I was like, oh god, it's my hair.
Yeah, I got hair under the shirt. No, I don't.
I'm wearing my hair wife beater for beating my wife. That's how I punish myself.
No, in the winter months, and when I'm really feeling down on myself, it just two birds, one stone,
Let's imagine, like, no shit, you go to, like, a ghetto beauty supply store, and there's, like, a bunch of, like, black women buying weave, and, like, this one priest.
I love it. That's That's great.
Oh shit.
So, not related to that, I totally recommended to a friend of mine that he should listen to our podcast. So, Derek, if you're watching this as your first podcast, you might want to watch a different one.
Congratulations. You got the weird Star Trek sexy podcast.
Weirdest or greatest?
But
I
there's
think
4 of us this time.
It's true. There are 4. We are no longer forever 3.
All right. So, oh wait, I'm disconnecting. No, I'm kidding. Do you want to just keep going from here? Like, just do it like normal radio style, and just like, well, that was our bullshit topic. Time to the real topic.
Yeah,
or do you want to?
That works. Yeah.
Or do you want to like host a new room? Okay, we're just gonna go with it. Well, for anybody who hasn't been scared away by Spock's penis and alcoholic women,
really.
Welcome to Four Reelz Radio. My name's Kyle. With me today, we have the blonde alcoholic.
Ari, nice to meet you.
We have the frustrated man not wearing his headphones. We have...
Hey,
Exactly. And we have the robot and
That's
the Wikipedia
nice.
article.
The wiki!
Hi, Internet. I'm Tom. I missed you.
Internet, I am Tom.
Whoa.
You're so fucking mean.
No, it's just his connection. He's like, oh shit, look at his face. I'm sorry, Tom, I didn't mean it.
No, that's just how I always look.
It's just my face, guys.
I don't want to be mean, but that was like the saddest response.
I have resting sullen face from a lifetime of disappointment and regret.
I understand, Tom.
Well, we're talking about the good of Star Trek then. Going
Ever
forward.
since I saw the Star Wars prequels, it's just been, when I close my eyes, I see Darth Maul.
I see Jar Jar Binks and it's sad.
Jar Jar Binks!
Darth Maul is kind of badass. Okay,
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks was just sad. And may I point out, Neelix is the Jar Jar Binks of Star Trek. I'm sorry, Neelix.
But Neelix is kind of funny.
Okay, so yeah, just real quick, we're gonna jump right into it. We're not gonna do like that whole episode review thing we've been doing. We're just gonna like talk. We all had to watch Voyager episode 1. Nate, first time.
Yeah, it's my first time dealing with Voyager.
Yeah, it was also my first. Like,
Really?
I know a lot about Voyager just from wiki browsing, but I never actually sat down and watched it until yesterday.
We have Voyager virgins. Okay.
That's what I said. In the title, in the chat of this thing, I'm like 2 Voyager virgins and 2 old pros talk about the first episode Caretaker. Like I had the description written. I called them Voyager virgins because it just sounds so good.
Beautiful.
Ari,
Beautiful.
your
This is
Voyager
like
experience.
my 3rd or 4th time watching it. But it was kind of cool because my roommate randomly decided to join me and watch it, and it was her first time with Star Trek Voyager 2. So that was kind of neat. And she never
First time with
liked
Star
this
Trek or
down
just Voyager?
with Voyager. She's seen a few of the original series episodes with her dad, but other than that, but it was cool because she like hardly ever watches anything with me, so that was kind of fun.
Yay,
didn't know
friendship.
Yay!
F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. Copyright
Please don't
lawsuit.
copyright strike.
My cover was just so good. They're gonna like smoothen the groove and put me on like a copyright ban.
Anyway.
So yeah, I'm like Ari. I've been watching Voyager since I watched everything. Like I started with TNG, then upped it to DS9, and then Voyager. I saw the first episode, watched a bunch of episodes, and like I just never saw it to the end because Voyager. I think Ari, you could back me up on this or not. Gets kind of weak near the end.
Yeah, a little. I mean, it's just rough because you're not really sure if they're gonna go with generational ship or if they're gonna go for we just need to get back home. And then at the end, it's like, oh, well, it's taken several years, but we're home. And sorry, maybe I shouldn't give you spoilers.
No,
I might
It's
actually.
been out since 1997.
yeah,
You're right.
I think it's assumed.
There are kids that are in high school that were born. Right. Anyway.
Those were like specific episodes and like major plot.
So
Yeah,
she
I
just
mean,
had to go back in time to get them home sooner. Because Janeway's Janeway.
The ending is weak. The ending is like, oh shit, it's our last season. Let's wrap this bitch up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like they cheat it with time travel. It's
We only have so much money.
exactly
Janeway
like
just got
Brian
impatient,
Braga
you
just
know?
ran into cash and was like, fuck it, let's get these fuckers out of here.
All of the
Sure.
money is going to Enterprise. People are gonna love Enterprise.
I think it was going towards
Yeah.
the movies. I guess like Generations or Nemesis didn't do well, and they're like, fuck it, we quit.
Well, Nemesis, Voyager ended like a month or 2 after 9/11, and Nemesis was like 2003. So
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely a money thing, and by that point, UPN had probably like jumped tracks to we're just gonna give Buffy the Vampire Slayer enough money to come over here
Good call.
because that was their thing. So
Good call.
Good
I've actually
job
never seen
for
that.
killing Star Trek. You never liked it? You never watched it?
Never seen it. Never ever.
I've only seen-
Go ahead, Tom.
I've only seen like a few early episodes, and I just seen more of Angel because Angel's a much more interesting show right out of the gate.
Yes.
So
Gotcha.
I've never seen either. I just know I'm not supposed to talk bad about Buffy because, like, for some reason, like, I always thought it was like a goofy show. I'm like, it was like Sabrina the Teenage Witch to me. I'm like, how is this a thing? And like, I realized like I was entirely wrong. Like everyone's telling me like, no, it's like a really good show actually.
Well, the thing
Yeah,
is,
my best friend from high school loved it.
I feel like you gotta kind of like with like various Star Trek. Like I think TNG is probably an okay example. Is like the first season is kind of rocky, And I think the first season of Buffy's kind of like that a little bit, where it's like it's still kind of it's figuring out what it wants to do. It's a little kooky, and then as things go on and on, like mythos builds, stakes build, characters flesh out, and then it's like it becomes the show people love. I think like if you just watch like the pilot, yeah, it's gonna come off probably a little bit cheesy or kooky. But then again, a number of Star Treks come off that way. Like
so it's true. Honestly, like rewatching the pilot, I was like. And, like, with my roommate with me, I was like, man, she's going to think this is corny. You know, like...
It's really corny, and the acting in some of this is...
Yeah, well, there's some corny bits.
As the series goes along, I think.
I will say this. My initial viewing, as I said in our group chat when we were watching, I watched about, like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes in, and it's where Janeway is recruiting...
Tom
Paris.
Yeah. Not so Maquis man, Tom, and he's like, the Maquis being like a Splinter Cell terrorist group in space.
Yep. Freedom fighters.
Cardassian terrorist.
Well,
freedom fighters. One man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter.
Anyway,
history will decide. Go ahead, Nate.
Anyway, my thing was I watched it for a little bit, and initially I was just like I've heard some mixed things about Voyager, and then I watched it, and then I was like, oh god, I hope I can learn to like Janeway's voice, because the first like 10 minutes I'm like, her voice is so just like not nasally, it's just the whole.
It's a little pinched sound.
Librarian voice, like pitched librarian voice, like Janeway's mad that you're talking in the library.
I don't know.
Tom, like, do you know that actor's name? That actress's name?
I don't off the top of my head.
Her name is literally how her voice sounds. Her name is Kate Mulgrew, and like her voice is literally her name. Like she just sounds like Kate Mulgrew. But she doesn't sound like Janet, Jackson. Like she just sounds like Kate Mulgrew.
Well, she's basically Katharine Hepburn in space.
Which is
honestly. Captain Catherine Janeway is Katharine Hepburn in space.
Well,
that's kind of awesome.
Right, though? About her voice, I feel like it actually gets better. I felt like I feel like she was doing some sort of acting thing in, like, the pilot, and it was like...
Oh.
And I feel like it becomes more normal as the season goes on, but...
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure I'd get used to it if I listened to more of it, and I think, like, even, by the end of the pilot... I didn't notice it as much. It was just like the first bit, and I was just like, "What is this?
Who is this lady?"
So go ahead. Like, just like I know you guys only watch the pilot, but I'm just kind of curious since like this might be our only Voyager thing. Ari, as like a female, I just I know that the big thing right now is like I was watching Game of Thrones like there's time like Game of Thrones doesn't do strong women the right way, and like I was rewatching this, I'm like, man, Janeway was like actually like a really like cool chick. Like she wasn't like a feminist icon. She didn't like burn her bra and like I'm the captain, fuck men. But like she was just like a chick who did cool shit and like
she's a good captain.
Exactly. Like she wasn't a woman first, and like that was like my fear going in was like, oh man, like here goes the chick captain, time for her like make me feel bad about being a white guy.
Well, she's definitely a woman. I mean, just because Harry Kim goes up to her and is like, oh well, yes sir. She's like, well, I know that the regulations say you're supposed to say that, but I prefer captain or man in a pinch. So. Yeah, she's quite feminine, but she knows how to run a ship and she knows how to do her job.
Exactly, exactly.
And she's very Kirk-like in a lot of ways, and I appreciate that. In terms of her command style, yes.
Tom, then Nate.
Yeah, she has Kirk's like authority and commandingness, while not his other Kirkish qualities.
No, there's an episode where she fucks a green woman.
There is not. You are lying, sir.
But in your
weird fantasies, I don't know, but no.
Janeway has a flowery penis. Pass it on.
but yeah, like I don't know, like I don't know. I don't know. I was just thinking how someone this writer named Caroline Seaday, who writes for the AV Club and things, she's a big Trek fan, and we were talking on Twitter recently about how Trek really has it's the most in terms of gender balance, it's probably the best franchise with the most gender balance in TV history, which makes sense when you consider, like, how evolved the Federation is as a society. It's like, yeah, everyone's just here to do a job, and they do that job.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, like, the only other comparison I can think of would be, like Law and Order Special Victims Unit, because Olivia Benson will kick your ass and put you away for murder. But yeah, like, that's really true. And in Voyager, like, I just sort of found that to be the case. Like, I was like, oh, okay, like, I kind of dig this. I did feel that certain parts of it were a bit rushed, but we'll get into that. Right, Nate?
I was going to say, like, well, two things. One, on the whole, like, Janeway as the female captain thing. I like that they did, like, a female captain. I thought that was interesting. Stops making it just, like, a boys' club kind of thing. I think you could say that, like, well, in my brief experience, I mean, I'll have to watch more episodes to see if it's true or not. I think you could say that, like, Janeway is possibly, like, a feminist. It's just not the stereotypical, like, the kind of, when a lot of people think feminist, they think, like, how the whole, like, I am woman, burn your bra,
Right.
this kind of thing. But I think the fact that she says things like the interaction where the ensign's like, sir, and she's like, well, here's the thing, don't call me sir, like, you can call me, he's like, don't call me sir, and he's like, ma'am, and she's like, well, you can call me captain, like, it's what I am, like, she's sure of herself, which I think was a really kind of a cool thing about her, is that, like, at least in the beginning, she's fairly certain of herself, and she's like, okay, we're going to do this thing, that's fine, and, I picked the people that are the best people, and, we're going to deal with it. And she's not taking crap from anybody, which is fine. Like, I liked where they confronted, like, they call it, like, the Maquis ship people or whatever like that, and, like, someone tried to, the undercover Vulcan, what's his name?
Tuvok.
Tuvok. Someone tried to yell at him or, like, threaten him, and she's like, hey, you are on my ship. You are going to respect people as if, like, as we're respecting you. Otherwise, you can get, spaced. Like, that was cool to me.
Yeah.
The one other thing I was going to say from my experience, I really liked the design of the Voyager. Like, it looks sleek.
Yeah.
Like they talk about how the Voyager is super fast and nimble, and I saw that in the design.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Gotta love the Enterprise, but the Enterprise is a big plate.
Pretty
that
much.
Is going through space to explore things, but it is a big plate. Like, I'm not really going to imagine, the Enterprise doing, like, barrel rolls or what have you. I'm sure it can, but, like, when I saw the Voyager, I'm like, okay, this thing could, be, like, a fast ship. And I thought it was an interesting design choice.
Yeah, and what was kind of cool about that is that my roommate was like, that's a pretty ship. And she's not even into, like, sci-fi at all. And so I was like, yes, it is. So, yeah, definitely the design is cool.
Yeah, it's really distinct from every other Trek ship. Kyle, you had something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, while we're sort of in, like, the little Janeway thing before we step out of that, like, Ari, I was just gonna think, like, later on in the series and, like, even this episode, like, she's one of the most, like, I got this type of captains.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she is, like, beyond stable. So I was just asking, like, sort of, like, you definitely got that. And, like, Tom, did you sort of get that vibe, too? Or, like...
Yeah, I did. She reminded me of Kirk in spots and a lot of Picard in spots without, like, the crankiness that Picard could have, especially early on.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched much DS9, but I remember from, like, what I've seen that Sisko is really... Yeah, Sisko, he got some problems, does Sisko.
Yeah. I like Sisko, but he's just intense. I think that.
I love Sisko, yeah, but he, like, turns into straight up Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
At times, and it's like, whoa. No.
Oh, my space station. Yeah, my space station.
Say Cardassian again. Say Cardassian again. I dare you. I double dare.
I always kind of saw, like, well, DS9 is more my jam than the other series, and I always saw Sisko as more of, like, you're either, like, very, like, you're either boiling over or you're, like, probably just really stable. A lot of times he's fairly stable. A lot of times he's rather chill, but he has this, like, this
he's always about ready to just boil over,
The pot is bubbling. Like, the pot is always bubbling.
I feel like he does a decent job reining it in though. Like he's
right. Yeah, he has a lot of control at times. Let's see, with Janeway, she obviously does have a lot of confidence. She knows what she's doing. And I think that confidence really helps with her leadership style. The only time that she really loses her confidence, and it's rare for her to lose her confidence, but later on, I think it's the Void.
Yeah. There's a couple times.
That's when she gets really depressed and has trouble being a confident leader, and indecisive.
I was going to say go ahead.
Oh, and most of the time she's very decisive. She's very confident. She knows what she's doing.
And she plays that the best. Like those episodes where she is trying to be the I'm sad, or the later episodes where she's flirting with Chakotay. It's that's.
Hey, they were stuck on a planet together. Okay, honestly, if I was stuck on a planet with Chakotay, I would do the exact same thing. He's a very, very handsome man.
Anyway, I'm undergoing Ponfar.
Wait, what? You were totally breaking up there.
I was joking about Chakotay undergoing Ponfar. It was back to our Spock thing.
It's not a Vulcan!
Hey, it spreads.
Speaking of Vulcans...
So, never mind. I'm not going to talk about the hypothetical.
Talk about Vulcans.
Speaking of Vulcans, I knew who Tuvok was going into this, but I didn't realize he was security chief. And I thought, that's kind of a cool idea, a Vulcan security chief. And and the way he sort of just shows and be yep, I analyzed this, and this is wow, you are dangerously competent. This is awesome.
Tuvok is her real second in command later in the show, and he is the real number 2 in that. Chakotay is there's a figurehead. We need someone to yell at aliens, but Tuvok is gonna handle it. Go ahead.
I totally understand why she made Chakotay her second in command, because he was the captain of his own vessel, right? And in order to keep that part of the crew, the Maquis part of the crew, under control, that totally makes sense, and you need to give him the respect he deserves as being a captain of his own vessel, right? But Tuvok, on the other hand, he has a really, really long history with Janeway. They've always been good friends, and so I see what you're saying, Kyle, that, real second in command. I mean, I would disagree with that, but they have more of a history together.
The way they bounce stuff off of each other is very much okay, Picard is off of Riker, or, Kirk bounced stuff off of Spock. You never see Janeway going to Chakotay let's discuss a thing, and not end in them trying to bone.
No, that's not true. That only happened once. And, okay, Picard usually bounces things off of Data, not Riker.
He normally isn't bouncing off of Data. He bounces stuff off of, never mind. Let's get this. So, Nate, real quick, your first time watching this, were there any characters you were that guy's cool, I want to know more about?
I think there were a number of them. Tuvok was very cool. I liked his stuff. I said, especially the scene where he kind of reveals that he was a double agent undercover with the Maquis, and they're "You're a traitor," and he's "I was sent to gather information. I did that. Now I'm going to go back to what I was doing earlier." That to me, I was just that's cool. I did kind of what's her name? The half Klingon girl.
B'Elanna?
You all said that at the same time. I don't know what you said.
B'Elanna.
B'Elanna? Yeah. She seemed cool. I was that could be an interesting idea, because the only other half Klingon that I've had dealings with in the Trek that I've watched is Worf's son.
Alexander, that little
Alexander, poor Alexander. What a failure of a storyline.
Alexander's adorable, but Alexander is a colossal fuck up. He tries to join the Klingons to fight the Cardassians in the Dominion, and basically one of the things he tells Worf later is yeah, I broke things in my first month there, so then people were making saying that was a sign of luck, because if I break things now, that means they won't break in battle. And it's
They're there, Alexander. They're there.
And his first confrontation in DS9 with Worf is just super duper emo. You're not my real dad, but which is kind of understandable. But it'd be oh cool. It'd be nice to see half Klingon, at a more adult-seeming maturity level, but still going through different things. Her whole thing, she gets into her sort of rage thing with Ensign
Kim.
Kim. There you go. And I liked like they're sort of playing off of each other. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, it could be cool to see where that goes. I was intrigued.
That's funny too, because my roommate was also like, "Do they ever have a romance?" And I'm like, "No, they don't." She ends up dating Tom Paris.
Oh,
It's
what?
not even.
Spoilers.
Sorry,
It's not
I
even
just
done.
keep dating.
That's weird.
Okay.
Is someone dying in your apartment?
Asberg.
Oh, was that me? Sorry.
Possibly in Sydney area here for one moment. And okay, I know the first season of TNG has some problems. Like people say, you know, second season is where it picks up and gets a lot better because first season TNG is trying to find the identity.
Mm-hmm.
And Q episodes are great. Like Q is an awesome thing, but I feel as if in watching this pilot compared to the first episode of TNG, I feel like there was more of me after watching this that was like, I want to see where this goes. I want to see what these characters do. For me, I think when I watched the first episode of TNG, well, that was also like some of my first dipping my toe into Star Trek. I was like, I don't know these people, and I don't have like.
Really care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to care, and I don't know if I do. Like, and that's the thing. Like, and you know, I've been told it picks up. I believe it. When I finish DS9, I'm probably gonna either go to Voyager or TNG and get working on those. But it's like, after watching Voyager, I definitely had this feeling of like, I want to see what happens. So that's obviously a feather in its cap.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way, Tom?
Yeah. I mean, the thing about me and Star Trek is whenever I'm done watching Star Trek, my first impulse is to watch more Star Trek. That's how deep this runs. But yeah, like, you know, but yeah, I was very much interested in like, I want to see what these guys are doing. Do they find, you know, the other caretaker? Does this happen? You know, does anything happens with the Ocampa? You know, like, it had to set up a lot of threads, and I don't think, like, you know, this was like, what, 90 minutes, and, you know, I'm not sure if it really, you know, it felt like, it was weird, it felt like a little rushed, and at the same time, it felt like there wasn't enough of certain things, like, you know, it's just like all of a sudden, oh, that super illness B'Elanna and Harry Kim were dying of, they're totally cured now. Okay. Right. And then there were like one or two other plot points. I was like, wait, what? Why is this resolved out of nowhere? What's going on? You know, so that was a little confusing.
And wave.
Yeah, but like by the end of it, I was just like, I wanna see where this goes. I wanna see him get home.
Yeah.
Hand waving is not really a Star Trek thing though, so like I understand Tom's like, wait a minute, like they'll hand wave stuff, but they'll at least try to explain it with like, you know, bounce a graviton particle beam off the main.
I mean,
there's always some techno babble.
Well,
this one was just we forgot.
That's why I yelled the word science, because the old cliche is in any fantasy setting, a wizard did it. In any sort of vaguely sci-fi thing, it's science!
Right, and the Doctor healed them. The Doctor's amazing. We all know that. But...
these neutrinos that were over here. It's like, and it's like this plant just happens to be able to solve things. Yeah, exactly.
Tom, any opinion on the Doctor? Honestly, for me, like the Doctor is like one of my favorite characters ever, and it makes me mad because it's like he shouldn't be. Like he's boring, he's stiff, he doesn't have too much stuff. Like when you watch like that actor and like the way he delivers like the lines, and like as he gets more developed later, like Picardo does an awesome job. Like the Doctor is one of my favorite characters. So I'm just kind of curious, like after this brief introduction, what you thought of was a Doctor.
Well, this wasn't my first time seeing him. You know, he shows up for a brief cameo in First Contact, which I thought that was really fun, and I like Robert Picardo and things, and I've seen some like funny like Doctor moments that really made me laugh, but it's just funny how like, you know, he's just really kind of, you know, he's doing his job, but he's also really like snooty. He reminded me a lot of Squidward Tentacles for some reason, and that like
that's perfect. I never thought of it.
Yeah, he was just like far too good for everyone's shit, and he just didn't want to put up with it. But yeah, he's great, and I know kind of what happens, like the Doctor's general arc, and I really look forward to seeing that play out. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Doctor's great. He has some of the best character development of anyone in the whole series, along with Seven of Nine and Tom Paris. I would say those are the three characters that really get the most character development.
I was just saying that you mentioned, like, now that I think about Voyager, I'll give it to you in a second, Nate. Like, Voyager, like that you mentioned, like, that's like the most character development, like,
of
series.
any Star Trek. Yes.
Exactly. They don't really dive in, like, Picard, other than, like, that one episode where he goes and visits his family, and, like, the stuff that happens to him in the trip, you know what I'm saying? But, like, they dive into Tuvok. They dive into like, the Doctor. They dive into Seven. Like, they dive into Paris and like, everyone gets dived in, which is hilarious, because, like, they're so far from home.
And B'Elanna, too. B'Elanna gets a lot of character development. Even Janeway, a little. Chakotay is the only one who doesn't get, like, any character development.
And it's so hard to he's an Indian arc, and it's like, he's more than an Indian.
He's a wise Indian.
He's a stereotype.
Honestly, that actor was pissed off about it. The lack of character development that Chakotay got. Because I loved Chakotay. I thought he was a great character and he had a lot of potential.
You just want to hang him.
I don't know. He had a cool tattoo.
Yeah, his tattoo
and
was pretty
arguably
sick.
the best looking guy on the show, so. You know.
Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, like that was the weird part. Like, there's a moment where, like, you know, where Chakotay is injured and Paris is, like, carrying him out and he's making cracks about, like, oh, Indian magic, and I'm like, this is really weird. Why are you saying this? Like, it just felt so off. Like, just, you know, to my modern sensibilities, I guess, but it's also, like, it was also just really, like, uncomfortable for, like, okay, like, I know this is, like, 1997 or whatever, but, like, this is really off for Star Trek. Like,
true.
This is so weird.
But you have to keep in mind that Tom Paris is a total dick.
Yeah,
and
I got that. I picked up on that much.
Of, like, well, you could turn to a bird or whatever, and Chakotay's like, you're too heavy. I thought that was actually a brilliant response on his part, but...
Yeah, that was good. That was gold. I like that. But still, it's just like, man, I know Paris is a dick, but this is just off.
So far, man.
There's very few true villains in Star Trek, so like just to him be like a space racist is like, I thought we were past this.
I was just gonna say, yeah, like people are like, oh, Gene Roddenberry in Star Trek is like racism is gone and whatever like that, and I'm like, apparently not, and just offhanded, awkward remarks.
Yeah, just not with Native Americans. Everyone else is cool, but...
Everyone else we're cool with. Native Americans.
I'm alright with a Vulcan and a Klingon boning and making babies, but not a Native American.
We got 4 Reelz Radio, love people of all types.
As long as you subscribe.
Kyle.
All
right, so real quick, Nick, what were you asking about 7 and 9?
Oh, I was going to ask, the things I knew about Voyager, like, going into this were, like, Janeway is Lady Captain, like, kind of like, Battlestar Galactica in, like, we're constantly on the run trying to get to a home somewhere, although Voyager knows what their home is. And the other thing was 7 of 9. When does 7 of 9 show up?
7 of 9 is like the Worf from Deep Space Nine. She shows up like halfway through just to like add some spice into the the series.
Yeah, just to make it a little bit more interesting. I think she comes on when Kes leaves. Is that right?
Yeah, I looked it up and that seems right.
Yeah, I think they need another hot blonde on the show. I think that's what.
Exactly.
The balance must be maintained.
I guess.
We need something for the guys. Why does my camera keep changing colors? First I was green, now I'm orange.
It just wants to rave.
So, my headset is busting. Kyle's computer is going rave mode. Tom's a robot.
Welcome to 4 Reelz Radio, motherfuckers.
Ari, if your only problem is that you're drinking wine, I think you're winning right now.
I win?
I win is something? No, I'm kidding.
All right, so we talked about that. So who else do we got? We got Kim. Kim doesn't do much in this episode besides be
an optimist.
Everybody loves
adorable.
Kim.
Yeah, I just had a bunch of jokes running through my head of, like, I guess the joke about Harry Kim is that he, like, dies a lot or gets damseled a lot. Is that true?
Yes. He always gets captured. Something really weird always happens to Harry Kim. It's like, oh my gosh, Harry Kim's missing. Oh no, we have to go rescue the poor boy. Yeah.
Harry Kim gets the Jordy treatment.
Oh. Yeah. Oh no. Oh,
I think he also falls in love with a hologram or something.
For a little bit.
Falls in love with but she's like a
hologram.
psychopath.
A hologram who turns out to be an alien. Sorry, spoiler alert. Anyway.
It's like an episode no one remembers. It's a one-off episode, but yes, Harry Kim gets the shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Everything bad happens to him, and he never gets promoted, or hardly ever.
I think he ends the series finally, the last episode. He finally he's 30 years in the future, and it's like, oh, Captain. Meanwhile, Janeway's like ensign. I mean, not ensign. Admiral or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even Paris becomes president of the world, and it's like, yeah, Captain Kim. I think that's right. Like Valana becomes the ambassador to Kronos. Like they all get awesome jobs, and he's just captain.
Good job, Harry.
Kim is now working at a
truck. I'm pretty sure it was a little tiny science vessel. I don't remember correctly, but
one other random thing that occurred to me in the first few minutes of watching this episode: the penal detention center is in fucking New Zealand. Really? That's where you're gonna put up your penal colony at? No, not Australia, which was designed to be and has arid wastes, or even a place that'd be awful to escape from. No, we're gonna put it in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Well, there's two things to consider there.
One, live in
one,
a hobbit hole and be in jail.
Yeah. Well, there's two things to consider. One, this is the time period when every action show ever was filming in New Zealand. You had your Xenas, your Hercules, your other ones. There's a bunch, is my point.
Okay.
But and two, it seemed to me the Federation seems to run its prison by Switzerland rules, where it's technically imprisonment, but they seem really free to do whatever the hell they want.
So
that's very Federation, though.
Is Federation prison a low quality spa, at least on Earth?
You have to do some menial labor, but you're pretty much having a nice time.
No, back massages aren't great. The one guy doesn't know how to do the pedicure right, but mostly it's just if you had to pay for it, you wouldn't want to pay for it. But for a free spa,
You'd be like, okay, sure, why not? Well, that fits very. The sort of kind of free to do what they want, but being punished, that fits in with Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future.
Yeah, it does go with the whole ethos.
And that's fine. It just struck me as funny that it's you're gonna set up a prison, you don't put it up in a place that's I don't know,
Torres, capital of the world.
You put it in pretty much the Shire, Middle Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally. It's we're gonna put it in Gondor.
For all we know, the Australia of the Trek universe was blown to hell during the eugenics wars or something. So
I wouldn't be surprised. Is there a jet plane coming over you, Kyle?
I'm sorry, I live in the hood. Jets pass, people come in. I have a family. This is Devilon. He's I guess he's throwing up.
Hi, Devilon.
I don't know.
Represent Dev.
The west side, even though we're on the south side, and Chicago. Did you just really throw out the blood symbol? You are way too white for that. Stop that. I'm talking to Ari.
Roll, dude. I'm not gonna throw the blood symbol. No, I was just gonna say when you said we don't know what happened with Australia in the eugenics war. I'm wait, are we making a fan theory about Mad Max Australia being part of Roddenberry's Star Trek?
Dude, I would totally get on board with that.
That could be really
Jesus
cool.
Jesus Christ, this movie's coming out. Mad Tricks.
Well, okay, it would be a little bit bonkers, but part of me is well, that's no crazier than the other thing. Was it someone claiming that in the Mad Max films, the rest of the world is fine? It's just Australia that went nuts and didn't actually because they're so isolated from other places. They were just and they have all just the waste. It's just that Australia went through a really bad drought, but everywhere else is fine. Everyone else is
hilarious.
We're just gonna not have travel to Australia for a while.
I was gonna say Tom, didn't you just get done reading the one?
People and their strange animals. No one was like that. That seems a little far off. But
sorry, Kyle. What'd you say?
I was like, Tom, didn't you just get done reading the one where it's like Captain Kirk runs around banging Star Sapphires?
Oh yeah. The Spectrum War, the Star Trek Green Lantern crossover.
Oh
Yeah,
okay.
So I mean, it's not impossible they cross over with Mad Max. It's not impossible.
Yeah, and the stuff with the people who live on like the surface of terrible Okampa planet, like that's very much a Mad Max vibe. Like that's its
really
super intentional.
is.
Like that was
the
super
kids
intentional.
on being like that.
Yeah. It kind of caught me off guard, but I was like, okay, I guess I kind of get it. The Mr. Tumnus-looking dude, leader, whatever his name was, curly-haired guy, does he show up again, or is he just like, you've made an enemy, rawr, and then...
Oh, the Kazon?
Yeah, they have problems with the Kazon forever.
That's like season 1. That's season 1. Series 1, when they dealt with like the Klingons who just kept showing up and showing up and showing up. They're like Klingons again.
Different warlords. Okay, basically the Klingons of the Delta Quadrant. Until they run into the other people, the other main antagonists, right? So
the other ones are the Hunters, right?
Yes, you've got the Hunters. I forgot their name. Oh crap.
Something like with a D. It doesn't matter.
And then also the people with the Phage who have.
Yes, the weird like skin people. There's like 3 main antagonists.
They're organs are all failing, and they harvest people's organs. Like
the first one is like the people with the crabs on their heads, because I guess that's the thing that we're gonna recycle. Yeah, the second one was the Hunter dudes. The third one I think is the Phage, and then like at the end of every season finale they just bring in some Borg.
I think it's the Phage before the Hunter guys.
Either way. 3 big guys, and then they throw a Borg in at every season finale, like a mini boss, like how when you fought Bowser at the end of every castle.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and now a Borg level.
I would be interested to see. That's another reason why I'd probably continue watching this series, is to watch and see the portrayal of the Borg, because having not experienced much with Borg besides the 2-parter with Picard.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. And then now watching First Contact and are enjoying the theory that the Borg Queen in First Contact is actually a renegade offshoot of the Borg. I now want to see what like proper Borg act and do things like. That to me could be.
They're not as good in Voyager. They're okay in Voyager, but they're not as good. They're the best in next TNG. Go ahead, Narc.
They're the best in Next Generation, but the way that Janeway handles the Borg.
They're not even a threat.
No, she's totally badass. She basically defeats the Borg Queen. I don't know if you're
Wow.
Yeah, no, Janeway flexes nuts. And like the half of it is like it's like Alien, like they turn into like Alien versus Predator, because there's like what is it, species 4259 Zeta
6472.
Whatever it is. There's this
6472. Damn it, Kyle.
Get it right. Get to fight. There's this thing that's like fucking alien Nightcrawler that just goes around fucking the Borg up, and like they have to team up in like some spots, like fight off basically alien Nightcrawler. It's pretty dope until you realize like it's like, okay, they're not gonna kill anyone with alien Nightcrawler.
Sorry, I'm pretty sure it's 847. I don't remember. It's 64 or 8472. I don't know. It's one of those.
773202.
For a while, actually, Janeway has to ally with the Borg a little bit because she's trying to use their transport conduits to find a faster way home. But she ends up basically, she ends up telling off the Borg Queen. It's great. It's fantastic.
That could turn out to be pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Say hello, Devlin.
No, not him.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Hey, Devlin.
Ari, I think he thinks you're cute. I'll just keep the camera here.
Damn it.
All right.
Hi.
Trying to make like sexy faces.
This is not. We're not Tinder dating on here. Maybe later. Bruh.
Devlin, get your YouTube show.
Okay, I think we need to get some more wine.
That spike our views. Just
welcome to Sexy Time with Devlin. We're gonna have his ass posing in the background for a while.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
We'll talk about it. You gotta go to Texas though. That's the thing. I told you shoot in Texas.
And it's like 108 fucking degrees out here, so.
Okay.
We ain't Skyping, nigga.
Okay. Anyway.
I should talk to you afterward, man. We'll worry about this.
Do we want to do like wrap up thoughts on this and then?
Yeah, sure.
We've
been going over. So Tom, real quick, welcome to Voyager, you freaking Star Trek nerd. What do you think?
I really liked it. As a pilot, I thought it did a really good job of like setting up all the stuff that needed to set up. Janeway is really interesting. I want to see what these people are up to, and after we're done here, I'm probably gonna go watch an episode or two. Yeah, I'm in for this. It's gonna be cool.
Best thing you can do.
Yeah, I have a similar thought too. It's really now going to be a toss-up for me when I finish Deep Space Nine as to which series I go to next, whether that's TNG or whether it's going to be Voyager. Because I look forward to both. I think there's good in both. So I'm excited for it.
I would say if you want a series, go with Voyager. If you want choice episodes, let me and Tom get you that. What do you call it? The select cuts of TNG.
Yeah. That's one thing that's always kind of like rubbed me a little bit weird. Is that like you and I think Tom and other people have told me that too about like TNG. They're like, and this is maybe why I really like DS9. Is DS9 like there are like one-off stories, but there's all sort of in like a general continuity kind of a thing, where it's like, okay, so this story is about Worf and his weird Ferengi thing, but then like a couple episodes later it'll be like, okay,
did you just call Worf a Ferengi?
Not Worf, Quark. I meant Quark.
Michael Dorn. We bow. We are so sorry, Mr. Dorn.
Forgive us for our sins.
Okay.
He knows not what he speaks.
I totally see what you're saying, Nate, and I was gonna say that like Voyager is a lot more similar to Deep Space Nine in that it's really more of a goal in mind, right? To get home. And it's what has more continuity and it's less episodic than TNG or the original series. And TNG is truly the next generation because it follows that pattern of we're just going to go out and explore space, But with Deep Space Nine and Voyager, there is a specific storyline in mind, a long story arc.
Yeah, and that's cool and all. It just strikes me as kind of funny that it's like, we have all these seasons of and episodes of shows, and people are like, yeah, it's like yeah, but then like if you tell me I only need to watch like 20 of them, then why do we have all these other
right?
Just for fun.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, what's going to happen if you're like me and probably Ari? What you're going to do is you're going to watch like the original series, then you're going to watch TNG, and you're going to be like, okay, jump around, blah blah blah. At some point, you're going to have realized like all the arcs, and then what you're going to be so happy about is that there's just like when you're done and like there's no more Star Trek to consume, and you just want more Star Trek. Like there's a bunch of TNG episodes you missed. Like, that's what I kind of do now. It's like I'll go back and be like, man, I don't really remember this episode. What happens? Geordi falls in love with a weird alien plant. Okay, cool. Let's watch this one.
Ooh, let's try that. Yeah, no, I totally know what you're saying. For me, like my first experience with Star Trek was the original series, and then it was Voyager, and then I pretty much binge watched Voyager and Next Generation. They were probably about the same time, but I didn't binge watch Next Generation. And then I watched the whole series of Next Generation. I don't have a life. And then I watched the entire series.
High school was harder than a lot of people.
Yes, high school was very hard. I watched the entire series of Deep Space Nine. So, and now I'm going back to like the original series and watching the episodes of the mist. So,
I would say like I said, you watch some TNG to get interested because that's of course some of the best episodes are at. DS9 you watch all the way through because it's an epic saga and like. And
it's the same with Voyager. You watch that thing all the way through.
You watch Voyager all the way through because you can't jump in. All of a sudden it's like, who is this character? What happened to that guy? Where are we? What are we fighting? Because the enemies build up. You know what I'm saying? It is very sequential. Enterprise you don't watch.
There's also the animated series, but you have to be.
I forgot about Enterprise. I've actually seen a lot of it. My brother really liked it. So.
I've seen many episodes, but like once they get to the Xindi, I'm like, shit, I gotta pay attention.
That's where I gave up. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I don't want to pay enough attention to this weird bug where that never happened.
I will say, like, I guess that makes sense now, because like there are plenty of times when I'll go through like binges of DS9 and then I'll set it aside because I'm like, I'll be really into it and want to watch like a bunch of episodes, and then sometimes I'll be like, oh, what do I want to watch on Netflix? This. Oh, well, I'm in the middle of that DS9 episode. Yeah, but I don't know if I want to just, dive back into, like, the Dominion War that's going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to go through this.
The Dominion War is tough.
Part of it's, well, it's not quite gotten to the true bad part. I think I'm in, like, the second to last season. So shit hasn't fully hit the fan yet. But it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of have to, like, jump back in. Whereas, like, I feel like, I guess if you have episodes where you can just be like, I want to watch, was it Darmok? That episode you guys showed me. Like, you can just watch that episode.
Data's Day, that's a good one. Like, TNG is like, you just pick up episodes and go. Whereas that one you got to follow. And honestly, I would say finish DS9 because that's I think like the strongest ending in Star Trek.
I'm planning on it. I just like, I'm gonna finish it. It's not like some other series like the X-Files where I'm somewhere in season 3. But
TNG ends. It's like, okay, cool, they're doing space stuff, and then it just ends. And then Voyager, we ran out of money. Enterprise, we ran out of money. The original series on it, that's we ran out of money too, right?
Yeah, they got
DS9 is like, we have reached the end of our plot. Every thread is wrapped up.
That's true. I never
Have a nice life. And it's like, man, when you reach the end of DS9, you're like, man, that was a satisfying ride. Whereas like everyone else was like, shit, I'm near the end, aren't I?
We want more Star Trek. Yeah.
So we took a rock and we made it into a diamond. See? It's like... So...
All right, then. So real quick, any final thoughts? Or are we good?
That was kind of final thoughts, for me at least.
Ari, read, watch, or play. What have you been up to?
What have I been? I watched Gladiator last night for the second time.
Russell Crowe?
In like 10 years, yeah.
Wow,
that was
shit.
fun. I gotta say, it held up very well.
Cool.
Very, very well. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it in a long time, man. I barely remember that because I was like a kid when that came out. What was that, 2000?
Yeah,
It was like 2000.
I hardly remembered. It was like 2000. It was definitely the early 2000s. And maybe 2003, I think.
Yeah, I was too young to appreciate it.
Yeah, I hardly remember any of it, and so watching it again was really fun.
I think it holds up because it's a fairly simple story.
It is. He basically just wants to go home. He's like, I've already been here for 2 hours, like, after my shift, and I just want to go home now.
Look at the life of a gladiator to 2 hours at a job. Like, come on.
It's like, sorry, but I just want to go home. Thanks. Goodbye.
I've been disappointed for an hour.
Guys.
I'm starting to give up hope.
All right. For me, I've been playing sort of a combo with Kyle, somewhat, playing the game Divinity: Original Sin, and the game because Steam sale happened. So yay for me, bad for my wallet.
I haven't seen my wallet in years. If anyone sees it, please send it home. No, I've been playing Divinity: Original Sin and the game Dragon's Dogma. Both are RPGs because I love RPGs. Both vastly different in that Divinity is like older school, like D&D kind of, and it's like turn-based combat. And Dragon's Dogma is like an action RPG where it's like, hey, climb on the back of that big monster, and then like fight it. So kind of that Shadows of Colossus kind of influence there. So I'm enjoying the hell out of both of them. I was going to say, Nate, did you know that there were 2 Voyager actors in Dragon Age Origins?
You told me that one was Flemeth, which is...
Flemeth was Kate Mulgrew. That was, Captain Janeway. And then Tuvok, Tim Russ, who's like a major face in the Star Trek world today. He's still doing like fan movies and stuff. Tim Russ, who plays Tuvok, he was the elf leader. And if you go back and like listen to him, it's like, oh my god, that's him. He sounds like an elf.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So it's like cool to see like Janeway and Tuvok team up to be dragons and elves, I guess. Tom.
Yeah.
It's called a video game, Mario.
Yeah. Well, I would have said I was gonna say Pokemon Go, but that game. Oh
God, we're gonna do a separate podcast on Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Well, that game doesn't work for me half the time. We'll get into that when we.
It doesn't work for anybody half the time. You still keep playing.
Yeah.
You spend half the time in loading screens. That's how you play.
Okay.
Yeah. But for me, in terms of read, I finally finished for the first time recently DC: The New Frontier, by Darwin Cook, the late great Darwin Cook, and basically, if what it is, it's what if the Justice League before they became the Justice League, what if the whole DC universe of the 1950s had to deal with all the McCarthyism and racism and all the terrible problems of the 1950s, and there were also dinosaur monsters and an evil island to fight. So yeah, it's fantastic. Like, I read the Absolute Edition, which is like...
I just went cross-eyed. What the hell did you just say?
I really liked what he was saying about all the issues of the 1950s, and then he lost me on dinosaur monsters. And I'm like,
I was sitting here listening to some shit and here like, hold up, man. Tommy does some like real comic book review shit. He's talking about like political changes and how it affected Batman, and all of a sudden, dinosaur robot monsters.
Wait.
But that's the beauty of the work, is that it ties both these strands together.
They don't need to be tied together. Those are two separate. Okay, what was this work? What was this work, Tom?
It's called The New Frontier by Darwin Cook. Check
The New Frontier. There you go. If you have some good weed, smoke some good weed and watch The New Frontier by Darwin Cook.
Okay.
Fucking dinosaur.
Are they dinosaurs or are they lizard people like the president?
No.
That explains the McCarthyism.
No,
Yeah.
these are...
I don't actually believe in lizard people. I just figured that would like tie it together pretty nicely. It's like
No, they're dinosaurs.
It's like Darwin Cook is seriously like, or was seriously like a conspiracy theorist. He's like, there were all these problems in the 50s, and here's how Batman would have handled him. And also, the president was a lizard person.
Nah, Darwin Cook was a sane Canadian man, so I think we're good.
I like to about like way back then, like Mad Men or some shit, like Batman catches Catwoman. Nah, you need a speck on the ass there, darling. What are you doing? Stealing diamonds. Ah.
I just love the idea of like just that phrase of Darwin Cook was a sane Canadian man.
Right, exactly. And adding Canadian makes him more like trustworthy or something. Like,
he was. Hey man, at the very least he was polite.
right. So sorry.
I mean, that's like a syllable. If you look up Canadian synonyms on Google, like Canadian, friendly, trustworthy, and a boot.
Polite.
Polite.
A boot. Yes.
And sorry. They're sorry.
So sorry. So sorry.
I work with Canadians, and I love them dearly. Hi, James. Hi, Charlotte. The Canadians are great, is my point.
Ask Tom about Spock's penis.
All right, Kyle, read, watch, or play. What about you?
Oh, dude, the reason we're talking about penises is because I'm a high school teacher, and all these kids want to know about is how animals bone. I don't know why, like, that's what high schoolers care about. I'm sitting here like, pollution that affects lakes, and, like, evolution and how you're related to bananas. And they're just like, but how does a mosquito have sex?
Yeah, like, why?
That's what the kids want to learn about, and like as a facilitator of the wonderful program I'm part of, I'm sure like this will get all over my social media. Like I'm just trying to not blast the kids out. Like that's what they want to learn about, and cool, I got you. They're learning about real stuff too. Like I had to like learn about animal skulls and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. Like I'm teaching them real science shit, but like when I get like it's like I have 5 hours with these kids, and like I'm just it's my first time teaching. I don't have 5 hours of material, so it's like I got 4.5 hours of material, and it's like anybody got any questions? So, like, how did monkeys become humans? And it's like, shit, now I gotta explain evolution in 15 minutes.
Evolution, damn it. It's gonna take 2 hours.
In like 15 minutes. It's like I'm doing like the real fast version, and man, it is forever.
So, Darwin, back in the day, HMS Beagle. Anyway.
HMS Beagle, turtles, finches.
Galapagos Island.
Exactly. Monkey, no. Sasquatch, yes. No, not like that. Okay, I quit. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of animals have sex. That's what I've been watching. Oh, and playing Divinity and Pokemon Go, and yeah.
Watching animals have sex.
Oh, real quick, did y'all pick teams yet? I'm Team Red and then Team Yellow.
Okay.
And then I'm sticking with Team Red.
I feel like a total stranger to Pokemon Go because I did not grow up with.
Oh, look, Ari dropped off the call. How weird is that?
I'm just saying, like everyone's posting these things. I actually downloaded the app. I downloaded the app because I want to see what it's about. So if you see me wandering around Lubbock, like looking for Pokemon, that's why. Because I just want to know what it's about. By a car.
Did you Pokemon as a child?
No.
Okay,
no.
you have a lot to learn, and you'll probably have fun with this. But after you do this, play a real Pokemon game.
Like what?
White, blue, sapphire. You have an Android phone, right?
Yeah.
We will find a way to get a Pokemon game on your phone. You will enjoy it.
It can be done. We have the technology.
Honestly, I feel like I would enjoy walking around outside looking for Pokemon. So
that was fun, but yeah, you should play a real Pokemon game after that. So real quick, so I think that's the end of our actual podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Nate.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Ari.
And I don't fucking know. Tuvok is a traitor.